I know it's hard to believe looking at me now, but I was actually alive during the 1990s. My name is Pat Carty, and this week I'll be going back there. And by the way, if you were alive during the 1990s, you're officially old now, or middle-aged at least anyway. But this week I'll be going back to the 1990s and examining or Laddism to give it a grand name, and the rise of Oasis and Britpop. Throughout the article, we'll be talking about Liam Gallagher as a perhaps dangerous fashion icon. It's okay for him to turn up in a bucket hat and an anorak, but can the rest of us pull it off? There's also the Battle of Britpop, which I remember very clearly, which for those of a younger persuasion was when rock and roll music was actually on the 9 o'clock news, where Oasis battled versus Blur for the premier position in the charts. Now, Blur won the battle, but Oasis won the war, and Oasis are back with us now. They're currently reconquering the UK and will be here in Dublin in August, playing 2 sold-out dates. Tickets are as rare as a worthwhile presidential candidate. But we won't just be talking about Liam. We'll be talking about the people in the crowd, the lads, the people in the bucket hats. What happened to them? Where are they now? And is it okay for them to get one last bat signal call and come together again and swagger down the street in that strange monkey-like way, drink a few lagers and sing about whatever it is that Sally can't wait for? And maybe they can actually explain to us what a Wonderwall is. Who knows? Doesn't really matter. That's not the point of the whole thing. So in 1996, which is a long time ago now, Oasis played 2 gigs here, just like they're going to play this August. But that time it was in Cork and Páirc Uí Chaoimh. It was just a couple of days after their triumphant appearance at Nebworth, where they broke all sorts of records. And lads from all over Ireland hitched down to Cork, and I know because I was one of them, and got a ticket wherever we got it. I had some strange adventures that day where I ended up pretending to be related to one of U2 to get in backstage. I also was almost hired to take out a very famous seagoing mammal on the way back on the back roads of Cork. But that's all in the article. What happened to those lads who were wandering around the streets of Cork that day? I presume now they're bankers and businessmen and IT professionals looking at the clock. But we'll see them again this August as they swarm around Croke Park in those bucket hats and those anoraks, despite, doesn't matter what the weather will be like, trying to ape, and ape is the word, their idol one last time. And sure, what harm in that? So as lads are having their moment back in the sun, and it's not just Oasis, of course, because we have had the other Britpop bands, Pulp and Supergrass up in here, and we'd Blur here last year, the year before, and also even something like Irvine Welsh has a new novel out that people are reading now, and he talked about in his interviews that the attraction to the 90s is because that's the time before people had their lives taken away by technology. So maybe that's what's drawing people back out. One last chance to throw their arms around their mates, have a pint of lager, and not in an ironic way, and sing those great songs, those anthems that Noel Gallagher very kindly made very easy to remember when he was writing them. He was never a fan of the big complicated words, but that's okay. That's what I'm here for. And you can read all about it in this Sunday's Independent.